Monday Night Football action. We've got the Chicago Bears at the New York Jets. And Brian, I gotta tell you, this was a tough one. I was back and forth when I broke this one down at the start, and this is my free pick, and I'm interested to see what your thoughts are. But we've got, it's a tough game for me because these two teams, if you look at what they did last week, it was like watching Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You had the Chicago Bears look bad in the first half against San Francisco. I thought got absolutely jobbed on a call late in the first half when they were driving. Would have at least been a field goal in that one with the catch out of bounds where they overturned it. And then they just come storming back in the second half against San Francisco on their home field in their new building, the season opener, first official game in the new stadium. And then you look at the Jets. What about them? 21-3 lead at Lambeau, and they get beat. What happened to them? I mean, what do you take away from when watching two games like that change so dramatically within the game?
Yeah, I have serious concerns about the two teams they played. I think San Francisco right now with the suspensions on defense, I'm not buying into San Francisco this year. And the Packers, they're having a hard time keeping the quarterback up, and the defense has not played well sometimes. So, I came into the season, I thought the Packers were a team that was going to be better. I haven't not seen a thing yet that makes me want to think the Packers are as good as what a lot of people thought they were coming into the season.
Playing the first game on a Thursday night in Seattle, it was easy to give them the pass on that one, because there's not many teams that can go into Seattle and look good. That's one of the most dominant home fields. But last week, to fall, in your season opener to the Jets, that defense, I've got major concerns about the defense. In that, I'm glad they made it back because I had Green Bay in a lot of teasers last week with some of the other games that I liked. And when it was 21-3, I wasn't a happy camper, that's for sure. But you look at these two teams, what do you think? What shows up here? The Bears, they had a bad game the opening week. We talked about Buffalo in another earlier video. The Bears weren't able to stop Buffalo's running game. The Jets don't have a running game as strong as Buffalo's, but the Jets are going to try to win this game. They're not going to try to get into a shootout with Cutler. Do you see the Bears being able to handle the Jets' offense?
I think they can. The Bears defensively, not one of the better defenses, but the Jets as a team is not one of the better offenses. So I take a look at this. Coming into the season wins, the Bears were basically a 9, the Jets were basically a 7, depends on the juice, whatever. So they're telling you the Bears are the better football team 2 weeks ago. After 2 weeks, what did we see out of the Bears? They're a little bit basically what we thought they were going to be. The Jets, maybe what we thought they were going to be. So now we're getting close to that number 3 here for Monday Night Football, and I can get the better team getting a field goal. I'm leaning that way right now.
That would be if you got the field goal.
If I got the 3. If I don't get the 3, I'm probably sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and this is my play, and I'm going to go with the Jets. I think they get it done here. A couple stats that I got that stick out. The Bears, I talked about that defense against the run. They're giving up 5.36 yards per carry. The Jets in 2 games have averaged a little over 5 yards a carry. So I think the Jets are going to be able to control enough on the ground against the Bears to keep the Bears on the sideline for longer periods of time. And here's a stat on Chicago. Over the last 2+ seasons, when they're in a competitively priced game, and when I say competitively priced, that's -3 to +3, they don't do well in those games. They're 4-13 against the spread. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Jets. And if you're a totals player here, if you want to look at a stat, Chicago has now gone over in 13 of their last 17 road games. Just a little trend there, but nothing for me on the total. I'm going with the Jets. I have them winning by 4. Not a big margin, but I do. You want to see the 3 to take Chicago. I want to keep it under the 3 to take the Jets, and that's where the line is right now. We're taping on Tuesday night, actually, this week, taping early. I say take the Jets on Monday night. That's my free play. That's going to wrap it up for this week. I want to thank Brian Leonard for pinch hitting for Vegas Runner. Vegas Runner will be back next week. You can follow Brian Leonard's plays at wagertalk.com. And, of course, you can find me, Marco D'Angelo, at wagertalk.com. Thanks for watching this week's videos. Best of luck, and I'll talk to you next week.